This one I'm very excited for. Why? It's what everyone's asking, and things have changed.
Yeah.
So we are filming this beginning of September 2025. What I want to go through are the top questions that people are asking, and I actually want to answer it from two perspectives. One, now that weddings have launched, may have changed with some of these answers, because some of them, not all of them, some of them have changed. And also with both, lots of weddings have happened, both with what you've observed and what I've observed at these weddings. What advice or tips might we give someone as they're thinking about this so that eventually you can land on the right decision? Which, by the way, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. I think you know who I am. Cannot wait to get married on Virgin Voyages. The big question is when and to whom, but I'm working on that. More importantly, I'm here at Pink Agave with Introduce Yourself. Who are you?
I am Chris. I'm the wedding sales lead for the Tie the Knot program, both vows and weddings at Virgin Voyages.
And I have seen you work so hard to make sure these weddings happen right and tight. And to be honest, the amount of sweat equity you put into it, but at the same time, the joy that you get when you help people to have the best and most amazing weddings is, I don't know if I told you that, it's special for me to watch.
It's always so rewarding that the endless effort that not only myself, but the entire crew on each of our lady ships, the onboard wedding coordinator, the team that supports this program, puts into each couple individually to make sure that every couple feels like they are the first couple to get married on Virgin Voyages and really make a fairy tale, wedding. I think it's just every single time that I see a bride or a groom walk down the aisle or together walk after the ceremony, after saying the I do's, gives me goosebumps every time. I'd never lost that, and I don't think I ever will.
I feel that same way about making these videos with how much time goes into it. But when I get to meet the sailor that's been watching it, it's really special for me. All right, we're getting gushy. All right, value, you ready? Let's talk about top questions. Which the top question is still the top question that people have been asking you since Weddings has launched, which is about the photographer.
Correct. So it's has been the one of the biggest constants denominators.
Well, I mean, people want their big day captured, of course.
100%. And our program is still does not include a photographer. As for those that don't know, Virgin Voyages does not have onboard photography crew like other cruise lines. And we do that for a variety of reasons. Primarily, it's not the experience that we really want to offer our sailors, just in general, Virgin Voyages, but for a big event such as weddings or a vow renewal, we have come up with some ingenious ways to really support each couple. Number one is obviously to bring your own photographer. It is actually still the most popular option, is to bring a photographer from land, from the departure port, whether that's Miami, San Juan, or Barcelona, etc. But bring them on board. Be your trip photographer. It is shocking how many freelance photographers are out there that are willing to travel. They're willing to travel
for the entire
sailing. Capture different moments of the voyage in all its like glory, especially the big day, the different events, the wedding ceremony.
I mean, the big day is a must, but at the same time, you are not just celebrating on your wedding day. You are with the people, traveling with the people that you care about for an extended time, and capturing other moments outside of that might be important to you.
Absolutely. Something as simple as the sail away. When you're sailing away with your entire party and you're up on deck 15 or 16 and you're ready to get that party started, capture that moment.
Or you're all dressed up for Scarlet Night and you want the big group pic. But at the same time, I also acknowledge, that's not inexpensive for people to pull off.
Absolutely.
And so there's another solution that's an interesting one.
This solution is the second most popular one, and we see it a lot, especially with those that are looking to not necessarily spend as much into a photographer, which is to do their ceremony when we're in port, whether that is in Europe, on the Med, the Adriatic, or any one of them, or around the world, wherever Virgin Voyages is sailing, but is to find a local photographer and have them come on board for the day. That comes at no additional cost. We will vet them to make sure that they pass our security checks, and then we will escort them on board our ships, have them capture your moments, the different aspects of your getting ready and the ceremony, and then we just politely ask them to leave about an hour before we have to sail away.
Which, if you think about that expense, having someone come for a day versus having to not only pay a photographer, but for their entire sailing.
Correct.
These are two totally different price points. And
Absolutely.
there's not necessarily a correct solution, but there's a solution that's better for one person versus another.
Absolutely.
Not every couple wants the same thing. And depending on what your needs are, pick the one that's right for you. But these are two different and really great options.
And there is a third one, which is if you really don't want to spend any money at all, additional to what's already in the package and everything, which is, hey, we just want a picture.
Yeah.
We just want a picture of our day. Cutting the cake, walking down the aisle, doing our thing. Our wedding coordinators on each ship or one of our crew will snap a few pictures of your day. Just remember, they are not photographers, but we will make our absolute best effort to capture multiple aspects, take enough pictures, videos, and so on and so forth to capture that moment. However, if you really want the quality, we recommend one of the other two options for sure.
Yeah. So photographer, still a top question. Hopefully this helps to give you some guidance. And don't forget, if you have additional questions on this, actually, can you give them the preview of, as they're listening to this, if they're like, oh, we want more, like, how do we get more info? How do we talk to Chris, et cetera? Like, where would you guide people to go?
Absolutely. So if you want to just set up no commitment meeting with myself,
which, by the way, for other cruise lines, it is a commitment call.
Yes.
And those calls cost money. This is one where for free for now, they can just chat with you.
Absolutely. Amazing. Absolutely. My schedule is my couple's schedule. That's what it is. Ultimately, you go virginvoyages.com, you go to under cruise wedding, you fill out the form, fill out as much information, as many questions as you want, and then I will reply and give you our link so that you can book an appointment. And then at a time that's convenient for you, and then we'll discuss them. We'll have a very informative session. Again, I hope to answer every question. And if it becomes yes, we're ready to go, or hey, we need to talk about it, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can, or maybe it's like, you know what, Chris, I love everything, but this is not necessarily the direction that we want to go to. It's still going to be my pleasure to meet with every couple.
It's getting people going down the right path and finding
Absolutely.
what's right for them.
Happy to be part of it and help you guide you in the right direction.
Love. And if it is, book your sailing with us. I got you covered. Helpful content, all the things. More questions. We got more, because the second top question that still keeps coming up again and again is around the cocktail hour.
Absolutely.
And let's just ground people in understanding how this works. Cocktail hour, which of the tiers does it come with?
So the cocktail party or the cocktail hour is for the tier 3 wedding alone, which is any group over 5 guests. Okay, 5 total sailors. All right. So it is one of the biggest things. It's what's included in the cocktail party. One of the biggest things that I always like to call out first and foremost is that the cocktail party does not have to follow your ceremony. It can be at any point during your voyage. Yeah. It can be a welcome cocktail. You just got on board one of our lady ships and you want a nice icebreaker, do a cocktail party during that hour. Have everybody mingle, ice break, dance, enjoy the Virgin Voyages experience. Or if you're looking to be a little bit more on the linear traditional route, you will have it after your ceremony. And really, it can be at any given time during that, after the ceremony. We do have a few couples that have wanted to do it before the ceremony. Maybe the groom needs a little liquid courage to say the I do. But
that means the bride can't be there. Or the other groom, or the other bride.
Exactly. But
whatever is right for you is right for you. There's a lot of possibilities.
Of course.
But let's talk about the selection. What is, for those who are tier 3, 5 people and up, what is included in that cocktail hour? So
for that cocktail party, it is a full open bar for an entire hour. And that includes liquors. And this is any type of, whatever you can pick which one you want, whether it's tequila. Mine is rum because I am Latino. But it also includes wines, spirits, beer, And really, just anything that you see in the bar,
It could be there.
it could be included, as long as it's, within reason.
So if I ask, which I already know this answer, when I ask for Moet to be included in there, I'm expecting there to be an upcharge to have that included.
Correct. If I know Moet would be your go-to, but there would be an upcharge for our top shelf items, of course. But it is a mid-level shelf selection. And not only is the alcohol included for that 1 hour, which in itself is a huge saving of what it would be, if you have 50 guests, 3 or 4 drinks in an hour is insane. But there's also going to be canapes or small bites that come with it. It's because we don't want to just be an alcohol happy hour and that's it.
So the other thing though, and make sure you check out the playlist of all of these videos because we're here for you with more helpful info and there's more than just this episode. In the other video, we talked about what's changing with this cocktail hour. And one is about the space being used, so the perch. Let's talk about that. But let's first start with timing. What are the options for timing for cocktail hour in terms of how long? It's an hour is included in tier 3.
Correct.
But there's an option for extending that to a second hour.
Correct. So if you say, you know what, an hour is not enough. I want more. I want to be able to party. I want to dance even more. We are able to extend it to a second hour. Right now, we are capped at 2 hours, but you get a full additional hour. And ultimately, what most of our couples are doing is that what they're doing during that second hour is doing their traditional cake cutting. They're doing their traditional cake cutting, their little toast.
And let's do a quick recap of spaces that are available for that cocktail hour and help us to understand of those spaces that are available, which ones are private versus semi-private.
Absolutely. So we'll start with the private. So what does a private space mean? So private space means that you're going to get the entire area that is associated with that venue, bar, and that would be the loose cannon, which is on deck 7 behind the social club, or the perch, which is on deck 18, which is going to be one of our ceremony spaces as well. So you're able to actually keep both spaces together. Both your ceremony and your cocktail reception can be in the same space with the beautiful decor to accentuate it as well. Now, semi-private means that we will block off an area big enough to accommodate your entire party, whether that is 5, 6, up to 50, maybe even a little bit more than that. We will ensure that there is enough space and seating for that party. And what those spaces are going to be is going to be the On the Rocks, which is on deck 6, one of the most popular venue spaces with live music almost every evening and into the night. We do have our Sip Lounge, which is our champagne lounge on deck 7. We do also have our dock, which is on deck 7 aft. It's an outdoor venue, so it is weather permitting on that one. We do have the dock house, which is right before the dock on deck 7 as well, where we do accommodate for that space. We do also have the athletic club, and it is a change because the athletic club is now going to be a semi-private option because we want to be able to make sure that you and your friends and family feel connected and not just lost within a space, because it is such a big, huge space that we want to make sure that you all really be able to get together, because you want to be able to dance all together, spend time together. And so that is our one of our changes, but we did it based on our couple's feedback, that they really said, you know what, our party was a little bit smaller and we had such a big space that I had to walk to see, my aunt or my grandma.
You don't want people so spaced out.
No, because it just...
And it also, if it's too big of a space and it's completely private, it will feel like barren and empty.
Correct.
There's a reason why, like when you go to a nightclub, they hold everyone in the same space before they
before they open an additional space. But whether it is a private or a semi-private venue, selections are going to be the same. Every one of our bars has signature cocktails with it. Highly recommend that you really explore what is the most important thing for each of your couples.
Yeah, love. So these are the top 2 questions that have been coming up a lot.
Absolutely.
But I have a couple more for you that I think others are going to be wondering about as well. All right, this next question. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Because we are going to talk about schedule, and this is not schedule for the wedding per se, but schedule for your overall sailing. Because one thing that we learned from the other video, make sure you check the playlist, most people miss it, is that this hasn't just been weddings only happen on the 5-night Miami set. No, it's a huge variety.
Absolutely.
Around like length of itineraries, where it's at, like it's run the gamut, which is cool because people have lots of different options on what they can choose. But one thing I'm wondering is if you can give people some guidance around how to think about the schedule of their entire sailing, as well as like how scheduled they should be within their wedding day. And actually, I would love to kick it off because one thing that I learned, because, well, I'm not young, I've been married before on lands, is less is more.
Yeah.
The less you schedule, the more you can actually enjoy the biggest day of your life.
Absolutely.
That if you have a schedule in which, like, because I did, this hour is that, and then at the 20-minute mark, from the 30-minute mark, we're doing this, and then we need to be there, and then so-and-so needs to blah, blah, blah. And it's like, things will come up.
Of course.
People will have, your guests might come up with needs. Someone who is supposed to help you with something might not. Like there's planning and buffering that you need, but more importantly is the time to enjoy. That
It's the key part, really.
Right? If there is a flower delivery coming in, you just want to enjoy that for a minute, or you have someone who pops in who wants to give you a special gift, or you want to be able to enjoy different moments. Even if it means with people or quietly on your own, it's important to schedule that in.
Yeah.
So thoughts on like schedule and timing and how much is packed in and in there.
So one of the things that I always like to recommend to our couples, first of all, is enjoy your sailing.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you have chosen to do a cruise wedding rather than a land wedding.
Yeah.
And that is because most times when you do a land wedding, you're doing the land wedding for other people.
Yeah.
And it's their party. You're just the guest of honor.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very constant thing that we do see is that, oh my God, we've been together for this amount of time and we just stop trying to plan the wedding because of all these things that we have to consider, family, etc. So one of the things that I always like to tell couples is make sure that you enjoy the voyage. You have chosen to join us on Virgin Voyages with all these included activities, fitness classes, events, and really don't, if it's sometimes it's a little counterintuitive because I do micromanage sometimes, it's a little pet peeve of mine, and I don't like to be micromanaged, but sometimes don't micromanage your own guest schedules.
Yeah.
Because it is the biggest thing that does happen, because really your guests are here, yes, to celebrate you, and that is the primary reason, but this is also their vacation. They probably left their kids.
And it's an epic vacation. Let them have that.
Let them enjoy, let them sleep in. Don't, yes, they're going to come for your ceremony. They're going to be there for your events. Everybody knows that that's why they joined you. But it is the biggest thing is that let them enjoy. Maybe they went a little hard during the PJ party on the night before.
Let them sleep.
Let them sleep. Maybe they won't make it to brunch on that first day, that first sea day, or whatever that first official full day on board is. But really, be flexible.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest thing that I always tell the couples is be flexible. Because what happens is you plan everything down to the minute, as you said before, and then you get frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
And then you start to
winning. There's no winning.
You get frustrated, you get stressed because, oh my God, everything that I had planned doesn't go exactly like I thought. Yeah. I have everything down scheduled to the 30-minute mark, 15-minute mark. And I'm like, where's your enjoyment?
Yeah.
Where's your living in the moment?
I have to share with you 3 things I just jotted down because there's something really unique and special, not just about a cruise wedding, but on Virgin Voyages. So first, my first wedding was on land. It was in San Francisco. And I knew the city like the back of my hand. And I provide helpful travel tips. I had provided insanely helpful tips for everybody who was coming to my wedding on like where to eat, what to do, like all the things, where to stay. And it didn't do anything for anyone. At 2:00, people are like, well, what are we going to do now? And at 3:00, people are like, well, where should I go now? Like, what should I do? And it's like, go do you. Like I gave you all the
enjoy.
tips. But what's beautiful about a cruise wedding is there's a daily schedule. And that daily schedule doesn't have one thing on it. It has a million things on it that really appeal to lots of different people, no matter where, like, do you want to go work out? Cool. Do you want to sit at the pool all day? Cool. Do you want to go eat this or that? Cool. Do you want to go do whatever event? Cool. Watch a show? Cool. There's lots of things happening. And the second learning that I had is with Virgin Voyages, it took me a solid 6 sailings before I really felt like I could know my way around the ship and like actually have enjoyed all the things that it offers.
Of course.
So if you are not having a 6 voyage wedding, it will take your guests a long time to enjoy all the things. There's plenty for them to do because a top question, which book you're sailing with us, we got you covered. A top thing people are worried about the couples are asking me is, how do I entertain my guests? They're going to be asking me all the time, like, what should I do? And they're fine. There's plenty to do on Virgin Voyages. And the other thing that I've learned is when I've had groups coming with me to come sail with me, I thought I would have to plan their day. At 1 o'clock, we're going to bingo at the Diva. At 3 o'clock, 3:30, we're going to OPA hour. And honestly, I would see them once every other day. Like, no, I missed that because I was busy. I was doing this or that. And it's like,
they chose their, we like to say, choose your own adventure.
Yes.
Tell your guests and your friends, choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Virgin Voyages will have an adventure for them that will make them love the brand that you have trusted us with.
Yeah.
But really choose your adventure because that's what will resonate with them.
And if you overplan it, then they're not going to be able to do anything. And then they'll just come back to Virgin Voyages, which they will anyway. Because everyone does.
That is fair.
Because everyone does. Okay, so I think the big takeaway here is less is more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you can try to be in charge of the schedule as much as you want, but the more you can flow, the better. But you know what? One thing that would be helpful for people is what kind of help and guidance does the celebrations team give to the couple around helping them to understand like what they should schedule?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we do, and we do this throughout our entire meeting process, which starts as far out as 4 months before you even set sail, we really already have an idea of what events might be happening, what secret stuff, what new initiatives, what new activations, events, or, from whether it's our happenings cast or performance, shows. We already know some of these information, and we will guide all these couples through these events. We always know that we're going to have a PJ party. Yeah. We always know we're going to have a Scarlet Night. Yeah. Understand the ins and out of those 2 key events that are staple, regardless of where you're sailing on. And we will always help you figure out what other activations or events you should try out, depending on where you're sailing.
Yeah. So they can help to give you that guidance if you need it. But just know that the cruise vacation that's already offered here is a great one that will make your guests happy. So there's that. All right. Are you ready for the final question?
Yes.
This is a debate.
Okay.
This is a debate because it's not for everybody, but it might be right for some people and it might not be right for some people. Of course. Which is if you're getting married or doing a vow renewal on Virgin Voyages, should you go Rockstar? Yes or no?
I always say yes. And not because, oh my God, it's more money, yay, do it. But the experience you're going to be getting, and you're already getting an amazing experience regardless, just by being on Virgin Voyages. You're getting an extra experience by doing a wedding or a vow renewal. But really, it's a once in a lifetime event that you're doing.
Yeah.
This might be your milestone vow renewal. Yeah. This will be your wedding that you're doing with the person that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah. I
believe that you should always live the best, live at your most. I really do think that, it's one of the biggest things, and really just since the program launched on April of this year and we started doing them, we really see a 50-50 on Rockstar versus non-Rockstars.
Yeah.
We really
Not
see...
everyone needs to do it.
Exactly. We see parties where it's, hey, they're happy with an insider cabin, or they're happy with a sea view or a standard sea terrace. And that is, they are still having the best time of their life. And then there's those that say, you know what? I'm only getting married once, or this is my third marriage, I'm gonna do the massive suite. I want all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
So it really just depends on what is most important to you. And not only that, but one of the best things of the weddings, of the Tie the Knot program in general, is that we offer ways not only to plan it, but we can always help you find a way to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Because we do have additional options on it. Whether it's our financing if you're a U.S. Resident and citizen.
Was there more? I'm actually curious what you think my opinion is on Rockstar versus not, but was there more to this?
So one of the other things that is that we do offer a taste on what it is to be a rock star just by being part of the weddings program. And what that means is that not only do you get some of the best, we get a personalized experience since you board at the terminal.
Yeah, it's so nice that you go out there and you greet them.
Absolutely.
And they board first.
They board first. They get a 1-to-1 person ratio that is going to be welcoming them. And instead of just being, hey, walk around the ship, cabins are not ready, your cabin will always be ready with a few surprise and delights.
Yeah, you do a good job.
We won't tell you about. You got to kind of see it to believe it. But not only that, but we also offer you some of the additional perks that come with being part of the weddings, which is access to Richard's rooftop, which is one of the biggest things which is a really nice, because you know what? There's Richard's sunset hour that Christine knows all too well about, and she loves going there with a little bit of a moet. But we do offer this additional as well, at no additional cost for you. So
actually, you know what? Now that sailings are more busy, more full, more anything than ever, I could imagine as a couple who might have just a lot going on and they're trying to enjoy the moment, to be able to, and this is the correct word, escape to Richard's rooftop at any point.
Get a break.
And just have that beautiful space and the service and the quietness and the mellowness that's there, and have time for yourself, whether in the hot tub or enjoying one of the spaces. I could really envision that being a really beautiful, shared moment for the couple, even if you're just going there for an hour.
Yeah, just unwind. Just be like, you know what? Yeah. I've been with my mother and my mother-in-law, and they've been dragging me around the entire ship for the last 12 hours. I need a full, just a break.
Yeah. Okay, Rockstar versus non-Rockstar. What do you think my opinion is?
You say always, absolutely.
You really think so?
Yes.
No. I am very strong.
Shocked. Actually, I'm very shocked.
Hold on. I have a very strong opinion about why you absolutely should and why it really makes sense that you shouldn't. So I definitely think you should, if your budget is right. And if you want to truly have that experience where you have a higher level of service, I wouldn't actually recommend going Rockstar. I would recommend going Mega all the way. Now that I've really gotten to know a lot of the Mega Rockstar agents, if you're like, what does this mean? Basically, I don't like to call them your onboard butler, but that's how land-based wedding people understand what their role is. But you have someone who, yes, Chris will come meet you at the terminal. I'm sorry, someone on Chris's team will come meet you at the terminal and bring you onto the ship, but your Mega Rockstar agent will meet you and walk you off the ship and make sure you have porters that move your luggage off the ship and get you to your destination, whether the airport or a hotel or fill in the blank. It means, yes, if you need help, you can call the celebrations team for things that you need. But if you're like, hey, I need ship eats delivered, I need a coffee with lots of half and half, and I need fill in the blank, your Make a Rockstar agent will be there taking care of you. If you're like, this is my first time sailing ever, I don't know where Pink Agave is, which is where we're at right now. Mega Rockstar agent, can you walk us there? They will walk you there. And not only that, you will skip the line and they will walk you directly to your seat. And while you might be helping with all of their reservations in advance, something might come up last minute and they might want something, and they can get that done with a mega experience. And so I am Rockstar all the way. If you are somebody who's like, oh yeah, I love a higher level of service. I love having that luxury. It's a nicer room experience. Non-Rockstar. You know what? Not everyone wants to spend in the same way. Here's a perfect example. The first time I got married, Actually, of all the things you can spend money on, what do you think was one of my top expenses?
The room, the hotel cabin,
Really?
the hotel room.
No, it was things that would make my guests insanely happy. So and actually I kind of equally splurged on really amazing live bands, followed by like really amazing DJ, and then like really amazing dining experience. And then I set up an entire experience in which we went to wine country and had so much fun the day before. It was all about spending on experiences. You wanna know what I did not spend money on? Did not spend money on my wedding dress. I had 5 rent the runway dresses in which I did quick outfit changes in. Oh, it was amazing. Everyone's like, you can't pull that off. I was like, yeah, I can. It was amazing. Did not spend on the dress. I skimped on flowers because I wanted enough, but like, I didn't really care about the flowers.
Yeah, they're gonna die regardless.
So I share this story because depending on what you care about, is it the experience for your guests and you really want to shift your money over to a second hour for cocktails so you can be together and spend on the Moet because there's enough of your guests that might enjoy it. Or you might want to spend on, do the spa experiences and all like something like that, right?
Of course.
Your excursions with your guests, I don't know, your shore things. You need to figure out what makes sense for you. And if you went non-Rockstar, I would consider getting 2 rooms. I would consider getting 2 rooms that are side by side. Because what that means is if you were to get, for example, a sea terrace room side by side, that means when it's time for the second person in the couple to go get ready, they could at least be next door.
Yeah, they can have a get ready cabin.
Granted,
basically.
you will provide that, but it's at least one where, and I say this because the groom kept forgetting things in the main room and no one knew how to get them. And I'm not saying he would go in there and get them himself, but at least he has access to be close to it to tell someone exactly where to get it. I was the one that was running items from the 7th deck on like where he was in his second room for the temporary space from his mega and like running the items back and forth. And so just having a second room could be a nice space where you're going to have a lot of stuff, right?
Of course, it's the biggest thing and the biggest day of your life.
Yeah.
So
You'll have stuff.
You don't know what packed light is.
Yeah, like way more stuff than you would expect. And being able to stage that stuff without being cramped, I think is a really great option. But it all depends on where you want to spend and what kind of experience you want and what kind of experience you want your guests to have. That should drive whether you are Rockstar or not. That's my honest opinion. But I mean, for me, I'm like, yeah, please book Rockstar and book your sailing with me. Remind people where can they, if they're like, well, oh no, I have one more question. Like if they're feeling that way, remind them how can they reach out to you?
virginvoyages.com, cruise wedding, fill out the form. We will reply within 72 hours. So you will get a response within 3 days.
Yeah.
Within 3 days, somebody will reach out and answer your questions or be able to book an appointment. Again, no commitment. Just tell us where you are at on that process.
You'll take care of them.
And we will fill in whatever blanks need to be filled in.
And I'm Christine Lozada. Book your sailing with us. I hope this was helpful. Go to the playlist. There's more in there. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
See you guys.